Just back for the game. I've been rushing about like mad. Thanks for you for joining me. We're going to go on Facebook Live in a minute. And thanks as always to the sponsors. Let me go live here and then I can read them all together. See if I repeat myself. I'll just go live at the minute. So it's Bernie Slaven here. Thanks for joining me on Facebook Live. Here in front of me and to the left it's YouTube Live. And thanks as always to the sponsors, this season's sponsors. Cornerstone, Galaxy Blinds, Advanced Utility Solutions, Ocean Lighting, GRS Insulation, the Dovecot, which I'm just back from, Ultimate Windows, Cleveland Systems Engineering, and TGM Cars. Thanks for your support, your backup, and for making me do this throughout this coming season, as a lot of them backed me last season. Really appreciate it. I love having an opinion. I'm a Borough fan. I've been here since 1985, and I went today full of optimism like everybody. But deep down within my heart, I'm thinking, we've still not got enough talent for me, my own opinion, as to where we want to be. Anyway, the team today, if you don't know, is Dieng, obviously one of the 7 signs in the summer. He was in goal, I thought he was good, enjoyed him. Coulson, Fry, he's returned for loan period. Fry, Lenihan, McNair played right. Foz on the right, flank, McGree, Belazer, Hackney, Crooks and Rogers. That was the starting 11. On the bench was Jones, Howson, Silvera, Vanden, whatever his last name is, Gilbert, Coburn, Piero has returned from Argentina, Glover, not Dean Glover, for you older viewers. I used to play with Dean Glover. Glover and Chuba Akpom, who has not played a pre-season game, never went on the pre-season tour to Portugal, appeared on the bench magically. And some people were speculating he's going to come on. I says there's no way. And he never come on. But anyway, that was the starting lineup. What game did I see today? I probably only witnessed what I expected. Pre-season games, the first few games is never quite how they never quite go to plan. And there was a wee fact going about before today's game that the first game of every season for the last 14 years we'd only won one. Now we've only won once in 15 years. The opening game of the season, so it's nothing new. So the game itself, I thought we were slow, we were laboured, we were deliberate. The passing, I thought defensively we got opened up, carved open too many times. With these, they should have scored 2 or 3. They had some great moves. The goal, the winner, was a terrific moving goal. But yeah, I think we got what we deserved today. I don't think they're a great team. I don't think they'll be up there in top 6, but they did more than enough to beat us today. As I say, we flattered to deceive at times, lot of the ball but did nothing with it. With wee patches of play, but in the main, they had the lion's share. The goal we conceded, the ball's on their left, Paddy's dived in, so I couldn't defend, I couldn't keep chickens out of pen, I was a forward. But Paddy, I know as a defender, you should never go to ground, because once you go to ground, you're sold your soul, you're out the game, and he's gone. And that's what happened. Paddy dived in, tore up the turf, he's out the game, the guys danced by him, played it square, and the lads shaped up, curled it with the inside his left boot, top right hand corner. Great finish, but poor goal to concede. So all in all, disappointing start to the season, but as I say, it's nothing new because we've only won one now in the last 15 years opening game. So no, I'm not too despondent, I'm not going to be overcritical, but I still think we need more players in for sure. We'll talk about that throughout the hour. I'll go back on the people who's had time to come in. Brendan Kelly says, like to subs bench, Rogers was better in the second half, new keeper was good. I like the new keeper, Brendan. Rogers looked good holding it up at times. Looked a wee bit lightweight, he get clattered early doors, he was limping about for a while. Hi Bernie, Millwall fan here, very early days, but we have recruited very well. Think we could possibly be dark horses. That's for Terry Thompson. Terry, you could be. I'm not writing you off, I'm just saying, you went in the top 6 last season. What I witnessed today, yeah, you were better than us, but there's still better teams. I mean, I never watched the game last night, Southampton. I heard Southampton was terrific. On the ball, off the ball, terrific. Where else? Ethan Baker says, disappointing result, but it's only the first game. I'm not a fan of Morgan. So he's not a fan right away of Morgan. Don't write any player off with a game or two. Give them 12, 14 games, individually, collectively. 12, 14 games, you get a rough idea who's going to be a success, where we're going, who's developing well, who's not going to do it. I think that's a fair reflection. I don't think you judge anybody after one game. Two young lads, the job for Millwall, sped the ball up at the end of the game when needed. Yeah, they did a bit of pace as well. Let's see where we are. So disappointing job, it's not the only game yet, so he's not a fan of Morgan. We says that Colin Frights is absolute nightmare that game. As soon as I saw the team sheet, I knew we were in trouble. Well, if I'm honest, Colin, I looked like that as well. And I think the majority of people looked at the team sheet. So if you just walked in the doors, come on, name the team sheet. Dieng, new goalkeeper in the summer. Coulson returned from a loan. He's been out on loan for about 2 years. Fry, who's regular. Lenihan's in and out. Paddy McNair went right back. It's not his position. Foz continued to play last season. Hackney played last season, was very good. Belazer, new to the environment. Sort of a huffed and puffed Belazer, if I'm fair. McGree, I don't think he was at his best, but he's the first team in the main regular. Crooksey played up front behind Rodgers. And big Crooksey, I thought, looked out of sorts. So Vera has to start, was so positive and exciting. Barry Budget, don't know if that's your real name, but I totally agree. So Vera reminded me of Archer. Archer, when he came off the bench, he looked wispy and he's slightly built, quick shot as attack, movement, getting balls. He put one ball in the box, he came off the bench later on, inside left, put a ball in. Somebody just got a glance, missed it, or nearly got a glance, and then it went in the back stick, and on another day we might have got a goal out it. But he looked to business. I totally agree with that. Back four were okay, especially central defenders. I look at, I think there was a couple of times we were opened up. There was two in the first half, they opened us up like a can of beans, a tin of beans. 1-2, laid it back, the lad played it by the bottom right hand post. Then there was another one, the lad at the back 6 yards out, he blazed it away over the bar. And then the goal, we carved us open. So I wouldn't overdo it regarding praising the defence, because I think they're better than that. Coulson looked very lightweight today, really poor. Harry Coulson, to be fair, he's been alone for a couple of years, he's back in the environment, he's got a big hole to fill. Don't forget, Gills was terrific. If you want to talk about Gills, were you shocked or disappointed or happy that he's gone to Luton Town? Luton, of course, is promoted. £5 million they paid for his services. Was it down to money? I thought Gills loved it here, but probably loves the money better. One Leeds 1, is that Leeds 1, Leicester 2, playoffs, 1 of 8 clubs. What do you think? Don't really bother. Jack French says, so Vera needs to start. Left back, main priority. Belazer isn't good enough. Well, Belazer huffed and puffed today, so I'll give you that. I would agree with that, but I need to see him, as I say, a dozen, 14 games or whatever. So Vera instantly made an impact. Just looked, as I say, wispy and fast and direct and fearless. Took chances, gambled, went in. So yeah, he really looked a player. Paul Killen says, evening Bernie, and welcome back. Thank you very much, Paul. Great to be back. I hope everybody's refreshed, revitalised after the summer break. I don't know where the summer's gone over here in August, but anyway. Great that the season's back. I mean, I was hosting the lounge today, Legends Lounge, loved it. My guest was Colin Todd, my former Borough manager, coach and manager. Cuddy, of course, for the younger viewers, coached under Bruce Rafe and then became first team manager. Told some great stories. Todd was a great player, you know. I wasn't aware when they came to England how good he was. 27 England caps. Played under the late great Brian Clough. Loved Clough. He had a few stories about Brian Clough. And they won the PFA Player of the Year. So I think they're having a big reunion, all those that's won them over the decades. So they're going to bring all the players back. Toddy's winning them. The game can be sluggish, etc. with Crooks. For Brendan Kelly. It was sluggish. Slow, sluggish. House and back, Brendan Rodgers, he's giving it the big, showing the guns, the muscles, unlike myself. But the fans showed more emotion and more chanting and for Howson. Don't get me wrong, Howson's been a great servant for us. He's still here, he's still doing well. He came off the bench and he got the biggest ovation of the day. Everybody loved it. But Howson ain't going to really change the course of the game as in scoring a goal or creating a goal. But they never sang anybody else's name like they did Johnny Howson today. Good evening, Bernie. Good evening, Chris Coverdale. I hope you're well, and the family we are. Thank you very much. Hope you and your family is, Chris. From reports, we did okay. Missing killer touch. It's one game. Everyone will need to calm down, lad. A tad. Can somebody feed my cat? I'll be honest. I'm not too despondent. It's only what I expected today. New players in, players returning on loan, not a lot of money being spent or squandered. So yeah, I think it's just what I expected today. But we've got a cup game during the week, so I assure the fans, you're the ones that's really important to everybody. Are you interested is it important to beat Huddersfield during the week? Are you not bothered? Are you going to give it the old, I'm going to concentrate in the league? Are we going to concentrate in the league when we're only one game in? If it was me, I'd be playing probably the same team, so you can go and prove a bit, do a bit, score goals, get your tails up for next week's game in the league. Gary Barnes says Archer and Ramsey need replacing badly. Yeah, Archer and Ramsey, two massive holes to fill. And obviously Giles, massive hole to fill. And the 7 players we've brought in, none of them is going to fill it. And I don't want to be derogatory towards Coulson. He's only come in. Coulson, I still think he's a good player. I think he's got a bit about him, but can he replace Giles? Well, you need to go some, because Giles was arguably the most creative player in the division. In fact, I think he was. Robert Lyne says, disappointing start the season without a recognised goal scorer. Who is in the team capable of creating the chances? This is a long-winded. I want to respect the guy because he took time out. Crooks is not the answer up front. I agree with that. Coulson is not the left back. I've just touched on that. Right back area is suspect. Yeah, Big Paddy was out of sorts. Teams are going to surrender the ball against us and take on the break. Today's tactics had no threat to them. So we have top quality coaches who were big players on the big stage. So why are our set pieces absolutely dire? Lack imagination, have some invention. Well, it's strange because the corners were fairly low and yeah, they were low. And then when Crooks went off, we started putting them in the air. And I'm thinking, well, Crooks is off now. We've no big aerial threat. So I found that a wee bit bizarre. No forward thinking, lack firepower. McNair, shocking for me, Bernie. Stand your man. Don't dive in. Basic defending. Well, I say that. And Paddy will know that in hindsight, of course. Too late. Poor start. None more or less. So Paddy McNair played right back. He's not a right back. He's a centre back by trade in the main. He's a Northern Ireland international. Paddy's had a great career since joining us. Last year he was in and out, but disruptive. A lot of fingers pointing that he's off. And he could be. I wouldn't be surprised if Paddy moved before the deadline. I wouldn't be over surprised. What I was surprised that Chuba was on the bench. Chuba's on the bench. Chuba Akpom, 29 goals, brilliant last year. Won every accolade going. He was magnificent, truly magnificent. Showed things to his game, or a side to his game that I never believed he had. I told him that to his face when I interviewed him, and I think the fans would agree to that. He's on the bench today. On the bench. He's not played the game, not trained, didn't go to Portugal, and he's on the bench. I still think he'll be off. I'm being blunt. I think he'll be off. When he was on the bench, I had ex-teammates, former teammates of mine saying, I said, will he come on then? They were going, yeah. I said, I tell you what, I don't believe he'll come on. Are you going to risk a guy who did an interview recently, I didn't see it, but I heard the quote, where he says, I love it here and I want to stay, but it's out of my hands. So he's put it into his agent's hands and the club's hands. Now, years ago, the club would have the gun, but Chuba's got the gun. Chuba's got the gun that the club said, you sell me 10, 15 million a go, or you give me a 3-year contract, lucrative contract, because I was top scorer in the division, and I've only done it one season, but that's what I want. I don't think the club's going to do that. I'd like them to do it, but I don't think it's going to happen. Because it would mean a 3-year contract, Chuba might not do it next season, it might be a one-hit wonder, and the club are thinking, in 3-year contract, it'll be 31, won't get any money from him, so they need to cash in, or they need to give him a contract. I think Chuba will be gone. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he's there. But the biggest concern is he'll walk away like Assombalonga did. I know when we played under 3 from him, we paid 15 million for Assombalonga. The last season he scored 5. So that's the predicament the club's in. You know, the lads we brought in 7 players. Have I been overexcited? No, I can't sit here and lie, no. All novices, all young lads. None of them's tradesmen. They're all apprentices. Few for Australia, 3 goalkeepers, dear God, 3 goalkeepers. The one thing I can't get my head around is a young keeper for the Middlesbrough lad. His name's out of my head, there's that many talk about goalkeepers. Solbrin, goalkeeper. I think he was player of the season at Swindon where he was on loan. Last year he was up in Scotland, Queen of South, player of the year. We bring him back, don't give him a chance, see you later, and bring in 3 goalkeepers. Even if we sold Chuba, Who would want? Can you get 10 million? But who would pay 10 million? Well, I don't know, but Chuba was on fire last year. Somebody might gamble, take a chance. That's what life's about, and I think there'll be people willing to get Chuba in there. Will he do it again? Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I'll tell you what, if he does stay, which I think's highly unlikely, but if he does stay, his biggest supply of goals is gone in Giles. So sorry, before we go into, there's loads waiting, I apologise. So you've got the 7 guys in, all novices, apprentices, whatever. What's the club thinking? Well, I think the club know, well, they do know, everybody knows. We've squandered millions of pounds in donkeys. Donguk Lee, Alves, 12 million quid. Macaroni, we know everybody says, oh, he scored the winner in the semi-final. He did, but he wasn't a great centre-forward. 8 million quid. We signed Rudy Justed, 8 million quid. Bamford returned for 8 million quid. I think he scored, no, sorry, was it 6 million quid? They scored 1 goal between them from January to the end of that season in the Premier and got relegated. We signed Jordan Rhodes for 10 million. 10 million quid. I could have saved the club 10 million quid. Jordan Rhodes was never going to blossom, and he was prolific. We killed his career. He never recovered for that. We brought him, and I don't believe Karanga signed him, and he never played him because he couldn't play the role. I couldn't play that up top on my own. I was too lightweight, wasn't aggressive. Jordan Rhodes was the exact same. He was a goal scorer. He needed help and assistance, and a big ugly guy alongside him who's going to give it the elbows and aggressive. And Jordan Rhodes flopped. So I think the club's looking now, give all these young lads 4-year contracts. Let them blossom, and we cash in and make money. The days Adam, I can only question the academy. What's happened to the great academy? Adam Johnson, Ben Gibson, Dale Fry, Stewie Downing all came through, massively successful. We've had others, but they've all fallen by the wayside. Those were the top guys. Is the academy failing? And that's why we're going for 18, 20, 21-year-olds around the world. I don't know, I'm asking a question. And the academy's never produced a centre-forward. And we've had the greatest centre-forwards in the careers in Middlesbrough. All local lads. Clough, Council, Fenton, David Mills, Mannion, Alan Peacock, all for this area. We've never unearthed this academy. I think the academy's hit the buffers. Hackney came in, he came through the academy. But a few and far between now. Now if we're going for boys at a young age, if you're around the world, it tells me it's failing. Bernie, you lot were young back in the day. If you're good enough, you're old enough. For me, tired of hearing they need time to bed in. That's what the training pitch is for. I agree with that as well, but you do need time to settle in. It's not just settling in the pitch, Borough fan. It's not just settling in the pitch. You need to. It took me 1 year to settle. No, in the park. Well, I wasn't that great, but or that prolific. I was in a poor team and we eventually get relegated and liquidated and all that. But it's staying in digs or kids going to new school, you have to move your family, lock, stock and barrel. There's all that goes with it. So it's not just, you just see the player on the pitch, in the team we strip on. There's more than that. So it's not just the football inside, it's off the field. You need to be happy and content and settled, have your family around you. Some guys will be playing at the minute with a family still living where they originally stayed. And some people find that difficult. I did. I'm from Glasgow. Some of these guys have been around the world. These Australian kids. Some people don't mind, they can settle in instantly. I have people that go travelling around the world on their own. I don't think I could do that. I like people, I like to talk to people, I like mates. Everybody's different. Ben Lamb says, why are we hanging on to the transfer window for so long? Would be nice to already have our completed team by now. I think everybody wants that, but that's not reality. There's still, hopefully, a lot of Premier League teams ready to get players out on loan or whatever. And I'm still hopeful that Middlesbrough can bring a couple of players in, maybe from Man United with Carrick's contacts, and think, do you know what? Hey, a couple of good players, lift morale. If we were to keep the team, the squad now, the window closes, where do you think we're going to finish? I was asked that today. I like to be honest, I'm not a bullshitter. I think mid-table. I think that's the best we can hope for. I'm a realist, not a fantasist. I had some people say Burnley will be top 6 before the game. After the game, they were only thinking top 6. I'm not getting too carried out. The day's game, as I say, touch, stamina, breathing, get to know your new surroundings. There's loads of concoctions in the opening month of the season, then things start to settle down. But we need more players. We need, for me, a left back. Coulson might do it, but one game, He needs to go somebody to take over for Giles. We need another creative midfielder and a centre forward or two. Some people are saying, why didn't we put Coburn on today? Well, I don't know the answer to that. I can't answer that. We were outstanding today. Yeah. Who's that for? David. David, you must be a Millwall fan, are you? Morgan was dreadful. Laugh out loud. Colin says Morgan was dreadful. Where are we? Poor that today. Need more bodies in. Keeper and Dara, best players for today. I'll tell you what, yeah. I was impressed with keeper. Actually, Francis Pape. The goalkeeper, when I first seen Stefan, I didn't like him. And I went through last season all right. And I thought he took too many chances, too slow and laboured in the ball. Distribution was poor. This guy, couple of good saves today, looked decent. Gave me a bit of confidence. So, yeah, I think he's going to be... I know it's one game, the wheels could come off. But what I seen today, I liked. Stu Fotheringham says, so slow, Bernie. No width. Hopefully gives Gibbo a budge to bring some more quality in up the borough. Yeah, I think, I don't know if Steve Gibson was there and whoever. I know the Chief Executive was there, I've seen him for a distance. I'm sure they would see the same game as us. They'd be thinking, dear, maybe we need to get one or two in. I'm sure Carrick does. Carrick's meant to be a super cool character. Chuba, when I interviewed him not so long ago, says that he was similar to Arsene Wenger. I don't mean longevity and success, just with his calmness. But I think he'll lose it this year. If he keeps seeing players going out that he doesn't want to go, or players coming in that he doesn't want, and that goes on, I keep telling you that. Not Middlesbrough, that's a new game. You're watching a new game now, it's run totally different. No managers, all coaches. All coaches. So Carrick will not have the final say, as he'll have a wee say in it, and then he'll go to the director of football, Cairn Scott, there's somebody else in there, and then they'll go to the chairman and the chief exec, and then it'll come down to money and cost and how much. And so, yeah, totally different game now. But we do need players. Andy McLeese, hi Andy. Foz should have started up front, Rodgers on the wing, but it's early days. Yeah, the boy Rodgers, as I said, I was sitting next to a former teammate and he liked Rodgers right away. I didn't really see it myself, but he says, yeah, he looks good, he's comfortable, and this guy's really knowledgeable, and I respect his opinion. I've seen glimpses, but not enough to go overboard. But yeah, Foz, I believe, did somebody say to me that he was a centre forward? I said, I don't think he is a centre forward. So he came with a tag of centre forward, but he's playing on the right. Ben Lamb says, what's the point in Piero? Well, Piero, the point of Piero is he's back for Argentina because we paid 5 million quid, squandered 5 million quid, 5 million quid floating down the River Tees. That was wasted money. But I don't see anybody holding their hands up saying I'm responsible. He was poor. Don't get me wrong, he came with that he was a good footballer, great at free kicks. I seen glimpses, and then he got injured, and then he got, I think, COVID, and then he was out, and then he disappeared and ended up back in Argentina. But that was 5 million squandered. Isn't Foz a striker? Andy, I've just said that. Foz is meant to be a striker. Sheila Catherine, is it? Hiya, Shelley. It's always difficult with the first match. Back after a super end to last season can only improve. It is always difficult. The first match, the first month, first few games, it's always difficult. I've been there. Because you're going through the pretend games, the kid-on games, the friendly games, getting fit, match fit, and you're chopping it, the teams are always chopping and changing, and then it becomes a real deal reality, which today, that's the kick-off to the real season. And you have to get a few games to really find your feet. Are you bothered about a cup run, Francis? Francis, you know what? I mentioned it to a couple of people today. I was in the Dovecote pub doing a Facebook Live. Pretty interesting that you can watch it on YouTube for free. I was in there right after the game. No rehearsal, just right in there with a mic saying, what did you see, guys? It was at the game. And some of them saying, don't bother about the cup. And I'm saying, but it gives you your greatest day. And my greatest day as a Borough fan now, not a player, in the history. 220 odd years to win a trophy. 2004. Won the trophy in Cardiff. League Cup. That's my first trophy. Now we don't care about it. And don't come out with that garbage, concentrate in the league. After today, I'd play my best team and say, go out and score goals, enjoy it, create chances, and let's have a go and get confidence back up. If we're 25 games in, there's a cup game, I might think, well, I need to... But no, I would play my best team. Because at the minute, nobody really knows. I went today, I didn't know what team would be. Nobody knew. None of these knew. Only Carrick and Jonathan Woodgate would have known. But we didn't know. We were all guessing who's playing well, what's happening. What do you think of Watmore going to Borough's bench when sub? Laugh out loud. But you know what, Paul? I'm that high up in the stand, central of the stand. I see Watmore coming off, and the fans gave him a great ovation, and rightly so, because he's an honest kid and he gave it his best shot at Middlesbrough. And he came off, and I heard everybody laughing, and I turned to a couple of people doing, what happened? He says, he came to the Borough bench instead of going to the Millwall bench. Yeah. Why are we talking about Giles? He's gone. Simple. Gary Foster. Okay, Gary, let's switch it for Giles. I want to ask you about Akpom. What's happening with Akpom? Giles is gone. Why did he go? Well, they're a Premier League club. They probably had more money because they've got a boatload of money. We're not on the same wages now, have we? They've got a boatload of money. Today I saw a confused team that lacked everything we had last season. We had poor Coulson, who was way off his depth. This is with Paul Kearney. Where are we? Sorry. Long-winded, so I want to respect it. Morgan ran around like a schoolyard kid just hoping to do something. Diang seemed to think he was a midfielder. He came out with his goal for air. I felt we were overrun. Why put Akpom on the bench and not bring him on? Why bring Jones on 5 minutes when we're down? We're 1-0 down. We badly need an attacker, a left back, both with experience. We're short of money. We're looking at free players, yeah. So why didn't we get Manning, a good left back? I even knew he was on a free, so Borough must have. Plus Bradley Dack was on a free and snapped up. These morons that bring in players don't have a clue. I could do better. Rant over. So there's a rant coming from Paul Kearney. Has a rant. He's entitled to a rant. He's a Borough fan, and he seems to know his stuff, and he's giving his opinion. Even Bernie had a lot of possession, but did absolutely nothing. Flat to deceive. A lot of the ball, but did nothing with it. Weren't really progressing up the field. The amount of times Foz was in space. Oh, this is long as well. Either the pass came too late or didn't come in time. Or come to him. Look at him running short of players. So Vera looked bright. I agree with that. Housen showed his class. We know what Johnny's about. When he came on, missed a Watmore type player to take defence on in the back line. Don't get me started on short corners. We've got some big lads who can challenge for the ball, and yet we resort to a short corner. That's what I'm saying. We've done a lot of short stuff. And then when we took Big Crooks off, I don't think Crooks was having a great game, but we took him off, and he's one of the better ones in there. We took him off, and then we started putting him high. Where are we? Evening Bernie, Ross Stewart being offered to triple wages by the Borough. We need someone like him desperately. For Nathan Williams. Well, Nathan, I've heard I've heard a few names mentioned, but Ross Stewart's been one of them. I hear he's not returning to September. He's obviously had a bad injury. He's still recuperating, recovering. Would I like Stewart? Without a doubt. Would he do well for us? Without a doubt. He'd be number one up there, holding up. He's fairly aggressive. We've seen it at the Stadium of Light last season when he tore past Fry and Fry pulled him. I think he got sent off that day. He scored a penalty. He was a handful. And he had as many goals as Chuba before he got injured, and then Chuba romped it. But he would excite me. Ben Lamb said, flooded underpasses, terrible queues outside the turnstiles. Time to get the club's infrastructure into the 21st century. No. Just put no question mark. Silvers looked bright. Silvera, looked bright when he came on. McGree was only danger before. They looked like he wanted to do everything. Coulson had never been good enough. Well, he'd been out on loan for about a year and a half. Baleza wanted the ball all the time, but never did anything with it. McNair exposed a lot right back. A hell of a lot of what to do for Michael Carrick. I don't disagree with that. As I say, my words on here last season, when the season finished, we didn't make it. I say it's going to, well, before we didn't know our destiny, I said last season, it's going to be the feast of the famine. If we go up, we'll have loads of money, we'll probably spend a right few quid, get players in that we can recognise and know, and we never made it. And I think what we're looking at now, I think that's because we never made it. That's the best chance we've had for years. What is it, once in the top flight in 13 years, 14 years? So sorry, I keep neglecting the old YouTube, sorry. Yeah, I'm a Millwall fan, mate. I knew that. What do you think of Millwall today? I thought they were good. I thought that some of the passing was really good. The goal was immense. What's your thoughts on Rodgers? Surely Coburn is better. Hope Coburn gets a run the team. What Carrick's Man United connection? Expect a Man United signing? Phil Jones could do. Phil Jones he's up for grabs, isn't he? What's your thought on Rodgers? Rodgers, yeah, he looked a wee bit lightweight, but I think he's a skillful kid. I think his runs are good. His first touch is good. Still needs a wee bit of building up a body, but let's give the kid a chance. It was more a Wilder team than a Carrick's team. I don't think we were that bad, were we? So who's this? Darren Appleyard says Silvera looked good and positive. Crooks out of sorts. Need Akpom sorted as soon as possible. The longer the Akpom scenario goes on, I don't think that's good for morale in the dressing room. The players that played with Akpom know what he's capable of now. Seen him last year, how good he is. He's a great individual lad. He's a good lad. He's a good living lad. And I think everybody's taken to him. The fans were signing his name today, despite him not getting on. But my question would be, why was he on the bench today when he's nowhere near match fit? Why would you risk playing him when he might be off? There was loads of question marks today. Are we going to give him a 3-year contract? I'll give my opinion. I don't think we will. And I think that's the predicament. Chuba has got the cards. He'll deal whatever way he wants. He could say to the club, even if the club wants to him, I'm not moving, I'm staying put. But Chuba seemingly is getting interviewed during the week and says that he loves it, he'd love to stay, but it's out of his hands. That tells the story. The club and the agent are controlling things. Chuba's just... But if it was me, if I really loved it, I'd say to my agent, I'm telling you, I employ you, I pay you. I don't want to go anywhere. Try and sort it out with Middlesbrough and get my contract. But personally, my gut, don't think it's going to happen. Terry Basco Brown said it was more like a Wilder team. Yeah, sorry, I've read that. Yeah, possibly. Judge us after 10 games. John, I says that. Let's see who we're getting in. We have to get players in before the deadline. If we go through the season with what we've got, or up to January, I just think we'll bob along. I don't think we're going to pop any trees. Chuba was on the bench just to boost morale. I think... I'll be honest, I thought, why is Chuba on the bench? Did I think he was coming on? No. Why did I think he was on the bench? People can see him, fans can chant his name, gives the team a wee boost, the morale that the fans are singing Chuba's name, he's there, we can see him, he's still here, he's still a Borough player. He could be gone in a flash, overnight. I was surprised to see him on the bench, but I knew he wouldn't come on. Didn't see the game as reffing, but it's the first game, nothing to worry about. Alan Geddes, well, Alan, that's your opinion. Nothing to worry about. Look, don't worry, 12, 14 games, you get an idea where we're going. Do we need more players? Definitely. If you don't agree with that, then you're a half-wit, my opinion. We need more players. We've got big holes to fill. Archer, Giles, Ramsey, they're big holes to fill. Chuba goes, massive hole to fill. Think of the goals that would go with them. About 30 odd goals. No, sorry, 30, 40 goals would go with all those guys, or creativity. Andrew Gray says, my dog is going nuts here. Can you tell your cat to be quiet? Be quiet, cat. I love animals. I just love animals. Borough's supposed to be the bankers' favourite for promotion this season. Are they going to fulfil that? Who's this for? That's for Jim Whale. Jim Whale, bookies, that's why they're loaded. They get people to put bets on and then it doesn't come off and they win all the money and you get nothing. No. The bookies have been... I don't gamble, but I know that bookies have been wrong many, many, many times. Sloppy passing from the start. I have to say, the passing was sloppy and inaccurate and there was a few terrible balls. Routine passes were going astray. I give the lads benefit of the doubt. I still think it's the first game back. The real deal where the fans are in. You're not playing behind closed doors or in front of a few hundred, a couple of thousand. They're playing in front, I don't know how many was there today, but it was a healthy crowd, so there's a difference. Full 90 minutes was flat as a fart. That's with Christian Brown. So full 90 minutes, flat as a fart. Nice way of description. No creativity in midfield until Silvera came on. Crooks was off the pace massively. Struggles with quick tempo passing. Can't seem to get out of his feet. Left back. Top midfielder and a ball playing centre forward is needed, so he's wanting 3 players, and I would say we need 3. Tommy Walker says width is a problem and the midfield was slow, even with Akpom in that team. we wouldn't have scored. We missed the zit and I presume he's going to say zest, no, spark. Hopefully we can find quality championship players that fit the team. We don't necessarily need unknown foreign imports. Yeah. Chris Pinky says, CJ Pinky, sorry, but you don't spend money, you don't get to more or less where you want to be. It's going to be a long season. So Chris is more or less writing us off that we ain't going to spend the money. I mean, if you don't know, people will say, well, what have you spent the money on? I've got a thing here with the players. So Tom, the thing is about the 7 players that's come in, 3 goalkeepers. What we're going to play, 2 of them, certain games. 3 goalkeepers I don't get. And some of the keepers we've come over the years, Lumley and that, and last year Stefan. I get the modern goalkeeper has to play with his feet, I get that. But so anyway, 3 goalkeepers out of 7 signings doesn't fill me excitement. Tom Glover, goalkeeper, 25 years of age. Free transfer. Jamie Jones, 34. Free transfer for Wigan. Alec Gilbert, left winger, Brentford, 21, free. Morgan Rogers, mentioned him, Man City under 21 lid. I think, yeah, Dieng, the goalkeeper, 28, Queen's Park Rangers. Those, Rav Van Den, is that his name? The defender, and Sam Silvera. So all those players are either free transfers or undisclosed fees. So we never know. But there's no real money being spent as yet. Still waiting to spend a couple of quid. And I'm Scottish. Not going up this season, lacking in midfield and up front for Joe Parker, short and sharp. 3 goalkeepers seems a bit concerning, as it feels like they don't know which one is a starter. But that's what I'm saying. Saul Bryn's a local keeper. He's a Borough lad. He's a Borough fan. He lives here. And we've shipped him out for the last 2 seasons. Now, I don't know, is it because Saul, I've not seen Saul, so I can't comment. But winning player of the years wherever he's went on loan is commendable. But maybe he's no good with his feet, because the modern coaches want keepers that play out for the back. Stefan wasn't very good at it. Some of you might disagree, but in my opinion, I would have strangled him. Was no good. Too slow. Too deliberate. His passing was wayward, or he would give a dodgy ball, and a hospital ball, I would call it. So I wasn't a fan of his. But maybe the 3 keepers that's brought in that are all good and comfortable when in position of the ball. I don't know. But how the young lad's been overlooked, I don't know that. Joe Brimfield says, without Howson, this team does not click. His legs might be gone, but the player's got a footballing brain. Howson's got a footballing brain. He settles things down, he stabilises things, and he orchestrates round about him. I would agree with that. He's a fine professional, Johnny Howson. Conor Howson says, only 1 game in, so no need to panic, but we really need to improve from that. Not pleasant viewing at all. That's a fair message. Andrew Hill says, Bernie, I can't see Borough finishing the top 6 this season in the Championship. Well, Andrew, as I say, I'm just a realist, not a fantasist. I don't want to sound negative. We're only 1 game in. I'm not being overcritical. But if you were to say, would you put a bet on, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, would you put a bet on now we're going to be top 6? No chance. No chance. That's my half a brain telling me. No chance. Why? Because half the best players last season, the best players in our team was Chuba, who, as a question mark, is he staying, is he going? Archer, Giles, Ramsey. That's the best players last season. They've gone. Because they're all loans, they went to our property, they've come and gone in a flash. We give them the platform, they shone like diamonds, and they've all gone. So, that's one of the downsides of getting loans. They're not your property. And they all went, and there's massive holes to fill. Have we filled any of the gaps as yet? Not in my opinion. Pre-season games now. But as I say, give it 12, 14 games. But look at the bench. The lad Silvera, when he came off the bench, he excited me. He was one that caught my eye. Only in that, I don't know how long, he was on for 15, 20 minutes. I was attracted to him as in, he's a good footballer, this guy. He's sharp as a razor. I loved all that. Cat behind you, Bernie. There's a cat there. I can't stop my cat. I love animals. Joe Parker says, I can't understand, with all pre-season, get team sorted, season going to lose half games before the start. I don't know if that's the predictive text, doesn't it, relate? So I can't understand, we had all pre-season to get the team sorted. go and lose half the game before start going. Didn't quite make sense. Kev Manfield, hiya Kev. Bernard, Billy Sharp ain't got a club, has he? He hasn't. Scores loads of goals, Billy Sharp. All but 6 yard area poacher like yourself. We need someone of his calibre. He is free. Kev, I'm happy with that. More than happy to get a goal poacher. But do you know what? A lot of clubs, modern day clubs, don't want goal poachers or goal hangers. Or foxes in the boxes. I don't know why. We'll lose Deng and Glover in November for international competitions. Mike Oliver, there's another thing we've not really considered. That's a fair point. But yeah, I mean, I always think, when I talk, I mentioned it last year, I'll repeat myself, maybe there's new viewers or whatever. Kevin Phillips was on our doorstep, played with Sunderland. Golden Boot winner 2 years in the bounce. Him and Niall Quinn were terrific as a partnership. Then he was getting let go with Sunderland. And I was doing the Legend show with Malcolm McDonald and Eric Gates at the time. And we were live every night, 2 hours every night. And I was saying, well, surely we're in for Kevin Phillips. And 1 or 2 noises, yeah, he's turned us down or he's not interested. Anyway, I think it was Eric Gates gets his number. I said, can you tell me to phone the Legend? He phoned up. I said, come on. Has Middlesbrough ever been in touch with you? You're on our doorstep. You wouldn't need to move house. You're settled in the area. You're a top player, top goal scorer, Golden Boot winner. Middlesbrough's never been in touch. No, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This is for the horse's mouth. This isn't bullshit or propaganda. This was real. And it was him, it was on the phone. Kevin Phillips. Middlesbrough, nobody from Middlesbrough got involved with him. Even asked him the question, would he come? I find that incredible. Incredible. Good evening, you legend. That's for Damo Sizer. Is that, it's still a long way this season. You're right. Don't get too despondent or too carried away. Garbage. We've got to get rid of decent players and brought in average players, Leslie. Well, we've got rid of good footballers who came from Premier League clubs. We've got young players in, young novices who come from clubs that some of us don't, maybe not even heard of. Doesn't mean you're bad. I came from Albion Rovers. People to say, Slaven, who's that? Albion Rovers. Worst team in Britain. People could have written me off. Probably did after the first 8 months, and then things turned round. It can happen, but is it going to happen with 7 new players in? Well, there's 3 goalkeepers. They're not all going to play, are they? We started slow last season. Once we get a few players in, we'll kick on, keep the faith. And I've heard that saying, keep the faith. The players have to keep the faith. Top players go, players are affected. Players go, oh, so-and-so's going, who will be replacing me? Oh, Coulson, he was on loan for 2 years and he's back, all right. Oh, Coburn, he's back. Chuba, they might be selling Chuba. And it becomes unsettled behind the scenes. I've been there. You see players leaving, you don't want to go. Players that you like as people, but players you like to play with and alongside and help your team develop and win games. Kevin Gallagher says, we were well off the mark today. Duncan W. Watmore ran us all over. Yeah, Duncan Watmore, I described him last year as a hosepipe. When I seen him, honest as the day's long, deserved the contract under Warnock when he arrived because he was a free agent. Well spotted. I believe that the manager, Neil Warnock, did sign him. And he was good for us. He was creative, scored a few goals, but he was like a hosepipe. Go anywhere, everywhere. Players didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know what he was doing. The fans didn't know. But sometimes it'd come off and it looked spectacular. But he, 120% every game. If you get money for just sheer work rate and endeavour, he would get double the pay. And he blew up again and then came off. Stephen May, one mistake, mate. Give over. Now they're talking to each other. Gary Upex, one mistake from Paddy. It's all the time. He's brutal. That's a word. I've known Paddy. I've used the word brutal this week, but no with Paddy. Look, Paddy will know. Hindsight, as soon as it happens, he must have thought, I'm definitely going to get it. Goes to ground. Once he goes to ground and misses it, he's out the game. He knows that. He'll reflect on that. But he's not right back in his defence. We were shit. Sorry, my spell check changed a letter. That's for Colin Raymond Richardson. We were shit. Sorry, my spell check changed a letter. Thoughts on the away shirt, Bernie, on a lighter note? I've seen the away shirt. Yeah, I think I've seen pictures of it. I've not actually held it, but yeah, I like the away shirt. Maybe you don't, but I think it was my son that showed me. He's a massive Borough fan. Shirt is much better than Crooks, and the keeper, Darlow from Newcastle to Leeds, an excellent keeper, 5 million. Where are we? I meant to read these. I need to try and just, if you need to bear with me, I need to read these every week I go by last week. Short corners were pathetic. Why do it, then pass it out to the middle? Garbage, big time. 3 games ago, he had one of the best championship players in his pocket. Mate, rough with the smooth. But are the only team to get beat today in the championship? I didn't know that. Do you know what? I think I said at the start of the show. 15 seasons, we've only won a first game in 15 seasons. So it's nothing new. So don't get too despondent. Yeah, I'll read these in 2 secs. Legend, top bloke from Sunderland fan. Cheers, Ken Hunter. Matt Flanagan says, need a left back and 2 strikers, Bernie. I would agree with that. I'm not going to disagree. Tommy Walker says, Tommy Walker. Oh no, it was Johnny Walker, was a whiskey man. We've been poor since March, really. Millwall, like Coventry, had a game plan against us. We wouldn't have scored today if we played until midnight. Creativity is a key thing. We like today, house and zip midfield and fast forward passing. Hackney and McNair were vulnerable today. Akpom won't score in that team. In person smart. Yeah, but obviously new thing today, but I think we deserved today. We'll hold my hands up and say we weren't at our best. As I say, I went into the game, I wasn't expecting much more. I looked at the team and I thought, you know, bit of a dog's dinner, if I'm being honest. Obviously the players we lost are big holes to fill. We've not filled them yet, in my opinion. And yeah, so they all say it's Down's matter about the cup, but soon as you get to the quarter final, the cockroaches are shining the back. Cockroaches are shining the backs. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Very poor game today, and Chuba should be playing. That's for Daniel Jones. I'll read a few of these and then we'll come back to these. What's the time? Yeah. John says, welcome back, Bernie. Thank you, John. What's your prediction for the season as it stands at the minute? Well, I've mentioned that throughout. I'm honest. I like to think I'm honest and direct and no bull. I think at the minute, as it stands at the minute, mid-table. If we get another 2 or 3 players and I go, wow, he's a good player, he's a good one, then who knows? Jeff says, Chuba, what the hell's going on with him? Well, he was injured. He was injured, wasn't he, throughout the season? I don't know where he got injured because he never played in any of the games. It put the club in a bit of a predicament. But as I say, I'm not so sure we want to give him a long-term contract. I don't think we will. Chuba probably wants a long-term contract, and if he's not, he'll bite the bullet and just take the end of the season what we're a free agent. We'll get zilch. So the club, because of squandered money over the years in garbage, I don't know who's responsible, nobody holds their hands up. There'll be some bad strikers come in. Bad strikers who are garbage, making a boatload of money, costing big money, came with a bit of pedigrees, and they've all faltered. So we just need to be careful, and I think the club's thinking, do you know what, we've done that road and spent millions in crap. Maybe they're admitting it now without saying it. Well, they are, because they're bringing in young lads, trying to nurture them, get them going, and sell them on down the line for big bucks. A very poor game today. Yeah, so let's see where else we're going here. Mick says, what have you made of our new arrivals in the summer? I've mentioned it. Well, they're inferior, they're improving, they're novices, Mick. I mean, let's not mess about here. Archie and Ramsey came from Premier League clubs, as did Giles. The other lads are for clubs that we've not even heard of, so there is a big difference there. Jake says, in your opinion, Bernard, who controls our incomings and outgoings? I think the consortium. Carrick Oversea, Director of Football Kieran Scott Oversea, there's another lad there, don't remember his name, he's there. The Chief Executive, the Chairman, collectively. But I know the modern game, alright, 10 minutes, up and down the country. Don't forget, Tony Mowbray at Sunderland, big mates with Mugger. But it's not Mugger that's taught me, there's other people, but I know how it operates. They don't control anybody that comes in or goes. They pick the team and train the team. Modern coaches. And Carrick last season was immense. He came in, simplistic things, 4 at the back, ripped a 5 up, forget that, 4 at the back, we're going to attack, we're going to keep the same team, and it worked a treat. And when did the wheels come off? The wheels come off when he started tinkering with the team, when we played Luton away. We'd already been in the playoff position, so we were there. We didn't have to do anything against Luton. Luton played a strong team, we made about 5 changes. Chuba was one of them. I think that's the one thing that Carrick got wrong last season. Should never ever have dropped a guy that was in form, scoring goals for fun, 29, wanted more goals, hungry, banging form, best form of his life. When we dropped him, he scored 9 and 10, and then the next 2 games were nothing games, but we did play him, but we'd already dropped him and knocked him down a bit. He scored 9 and 10, never scored any in 4. Akpom. And I think that was after, forget this wrestling crap, dropped him. And Chuba never recovered for that. I'd have knocked Carrick's door down. And my dad would have knocked his door down and said, what are you doing? Why you drop me? I don't want to rest. I'm banging in goals. You know, I'm as big a part of making the team go up the league as you. I've been coach. I've done my bit. I'm scoring the goals. I want this record, 30 goals, 35 goals. Never got the opportunity, and then his form sort of dipped, and now he's in limbo. He's on the bench, and there was no way he was coming off the bench today. Where are we? Sorry, I'll try and read a couple of these. Bernie, where has Leo Perkovic gone? And what was the title he was given? Can you remember? Head of Player Pathway Development or something it was called. I've never seen him for years. I don't know anything about him. Well, no years, I'm a liar. Last year I met him. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Greg says, have you been watching the Women's World Cup, Bernie? Great stuff. No, I've not. To be honest, no, I've never watched the game. I hear people saying, how dare you, but get lost. I don't watch rugby. I don't watch cricket. I don't watch women's football. If I had daughters, I probably would. But I watch enough football. My whole life saturated with football and music and my wife and my dogs. That's my life. But because you see you don't watch it certain things, people go, oh, you can't say it as if you've killed someone. They've killed nobody. Good luck to the women. Hope they win it. Some of my mates watch it. They've got daughters. I get all that. But I don't watch it. I watch enough football. My life's polluted with football. So it's not a crime. I know the PC, the Woke Brigade need to wake up. That's what they need to do. I'm against the Woke Brigade. You can stuff your Woke Brigade right up your rears. I'm not into that. People's got opinions. Say your opinions. Don't let the minority override the majority. And that's what's happening. Well, in some quarters, but I think people's rebelling now. And rightly so. Keep rebelling. Hi Bernie, not good enough today. We'll look way off the par this if you had on Watson. Wish we could use pre-season to sort issues out for once. Everybody tries to get it right in pre-season. It doesn't always happen. Pre-season, as I say, you're chopping and changing. There's new players coming, there's players going, there's disruption everywhere. You go abroad to acclimatise the heat and, you know, lose a few pound more. Yeah, so that's what you're meant to. You're hoping all your players are in before the real season kicks off, the real deal, but it doesn't work like that. In the main, it doesn't work like that. Tommy Watt says maybe he put Akpom on the bench so he could warm up and get an applause, get the crowd going. It might be his goodbye. I don't think people think about goodbye. That's why he was sub and didn't get on. Maybe I'll come back to you in a minute. Was it Conrad? Conrad Tank says. Watching women's football would be like watching the Grand National with cows. Dear God. I'm not offended. I get it's a joke. I'll even laugh. I get what you're saying, but some people are offended. Oh, you can't say that. Of course you can. People say it about men's football, don't they? You can't say, oh, you're a big Nancy or whatever. Oh, you can't say that. Of course you can. It's only a word. It's only a word. Get over it, man. Get a life. People die in the world getting bombed and raped. Come on, waken up. I don't think the club would think for a minute, we'll put him on the bench, we'll let him say goodbye and get the fans sign his name. They signed Johnny Howson's name more than anybody. But as I say, I'm honest. Football, Akpom, Chuba's got the gun. I've said it throughout this hour. Chuba's got the gun and he can do what he wants with it. He can say, I've got the gun, I'm staying here to the end of the season, not going anywhere. I'm going to walk a free man at the end of the season and get a few million in my pocket, or you're going to sell me and you're going to make money and I'm going to make money, or you're going to give me a 3-year contract. It's one of the three. It's a bit of a predicament for everybody at the minute. Well, more so the club. Peter McDermott says Akpom was never going to get on today. No way he was getting on. Some of my mates thought he would. Just there as a crowd pleaser, he's gone. Good evening, Bernie. Only a 1-0 loss. When we have players fully fit, we will do well. And nice to Coulson back in the team and playing well today, Keith Watson. So Keith saying well done, Coulson. Look, it's a tough ask coming back after not being wanted for a year and a half in the wilderness, gone elsewhere, and then you're brought back to replace a guy who was arguably one of the top players behind Chuba last year, and Giles. So it's a tall order. I didn't expect the guy to be unbelievably doing brilliant. He gave it his best shot. He was replaced near the end. But let's give the guy a bit of breathing space. Brian Taylor says, hi Bernie, hi Brian. Rod Stewart, never mind. Ross Stewart, oh dear God. The old ones are the best. Ian David McGill says, hi Bernie, from one Scottish boy to another. I'm Irish. Absolutely gutted about the borough as I've lived here for 24 years. Over the moon about the boys and even more so about the other lot. So I don't know, I take it he's referring to Glasgow, Scottish football, which the majority down in England call Mickey Mouse. Celtic won, Rangers, I take it haven't won. So anyway, Daniel Jones said we need a central forward, a centre forward, a centre back, central midfielder. For me, we still 3 players short, big time. Bernie, we were awful. Rodgers up top doesn't cut it. As I say, Paul, you're entitled to your opinion. You pay good or hard-earned cash, and you're entitled to your opinion. But what I will say is, don't write anybody off after 1 game, 3 games, 5 games. 12, 14, you get a rough idea, individually, collectively, as to where we're going. Today wasn't good. Millwall deserved to win. But it's not what I expected to draw. Beleza for the knackers yard. He's terrible. Dear God, Paul. Beleza wasn't good. He wasn't good. He played a bit piece last season, but I've still not really seen enough to give a true opinion on the lad. He was poor today. His passing was awful. Couldn't pass the pass out. So I'm no, but I wouldn't write him off. You're saying knackers yard, dear God, knackers yard. We've paid millions of pounds for guys that was on the knackers yard. Tom Corrill just says it's rhythmical. Tommy Tit, that's what we were. Tommy Tit, that's for Tom. Tom's obviously frustrated. Joe Broomfield, a striker is only as good as the service he's given. Akpom will be off for certain. Well, Akpom, he says it last season that he loved the Giles, as in the opportunities he was getting off Giles and the creativity for Giles, and he was the best in the business, best in the league for that. Now he's gone, well, that disrupts Chuba instantly. And Chuba's probably thinking, well, I've not got that service for there. The midfield, are they creative enough to get me goals? Are we good enough in the right to get the goals? At the minute, we're not. So Chuba's probably looking at the big picture as well. Somebody else came here. Bernie, nice to see your mate Jeff. Got a second ambassador role at Stockton. Yeah, Big Jeff went to my pal, yeah. After Red Car, I thought, well done to him for this. That's from Keith Watson. Yeah, well done to Jeff. I said my day, I forgot to mention that. Ambassador role at Stockton Town. Anybody want me as ambassador? What is one of those anyway? I thought it was ambassador. Anyway, yeah. Chuba will not score in that team. He will no longer get the service with Giles, etc. Gone. Ronaldo wouldn't score in that team. I wouldn't go that far. Hello, Bernie. It wasn't great, Mohammed. Hi, Mohammed. It wasn't great today. Wish we had Watmore, who ran the show. Need some signings as soon as possible. As I say, just keep my powder dry. There's still, the window of opportunity is still there. I don't know what money's available, if any. I don't know. But let's hope we get a couple of players we can recognise. We statements of intent. If I'm honest, the players we've brought in, there's no statements of intent there. The future players, the players we're probably hoping to develop and sell on down the line. Totally get that. With the money we've pissed off and squandered over the years. I get that. If I was a businessman blowing, like Steve Gibson, blowing millions of pounds and relying on players, managers or coaches to get players in, and I look and think, what a dud he is. We'll pay how much? I think I'd be tightening the purse strings. So I see from a business point of view, but I'm a fan. I'm not the businessman, I'm a fan. I want better players, and the players we've brought in, Glover Jones, Gilbert Rodgers, Dieng, Denberg, Silvera. Yeah, good luck to the kids, but they're all kids, unknowns. Some of them for unknown clubs. I hear people saying, oh, but they look great on YouTube. Rudy just said look good on YouTube. My granny could look good on YouTube. Some of the guys have played 6-7 years. You can get 20 minutes out. You're going to play some good games or score some good goals in years. You can put them on, compact them. So don't be kidded by what you see on YouTube. Need to bring in some, this is for Dean Wilson, need to bring in some good loan players, I think, but would love to buy some players, but won't be spending much. I don't think. Well, I think like you, Dean. Mohammed says, first manager who will get sacked is going to be the Queen's Park Rangers manager who lost 4-0 to Watford. To lose 4-0. James Chapman says, welcome back, Bernard. Cheers, James. Laboured start, but till we get signings, it's going to take a while to get players up to speed. I know the pre-season doesn't matter, but wasn't impressed. Yeah, pre-season, look, I've seen players unbelievable in pre-season, and when it comes to real stuff, the bottle goes in front of the big crowds, and when they're under severe scrutiny, even more so now. So some players can blossom in pre-season, be terrific and score goals galore and defend brilliantly and clean sheets galore. Then when it comes to the real deal, the nerves go and they start panicking. So pre-season, you can't really read into that. Then Bennett says, find it such a shame the club hasn't backed Carrick more in the summer and gone out and improved the squad from last season. This is a long one, I'm going to respect it. Almost got there last year and Carrick deserved to be back this summer. We should have kicked on. If skint, then get some loans in. I'm sure they're trying. We've finally got a manager who can coach, who can take us to the next level, and we need to get back to him. And last thing the club needs is for him to walk and another dinosaur walk through the door. I'm giving my opinion about past managers. Wilder and Warnock were heavily criticised. Some of the football wasn't good. I'm with you in that. Some of the players we brought in, I don't believe that they would have signed. But if you're an experienced campaigner who's gained promotions, played the game, and then there's one or two guys who've never played the game telling you who you should bring and who you should let go, would you not lose the rag? I'm talking over the country now, over the board. This is happening at clubs all over. This is a modern phenomenon. This is what clubs do. You employ this guy, director of coaching, him. They deal with who comes, who goes. And if you're won 40 years in the game, and you get some young rookie who's never played, never managed, and never got anywhere near your status and standards, telling you who you're bringing, who's going, would you not lose the plot? Would you not not lose your plot, lose it? I would. How? That's like me getting into once and come on, Neil, you should have done this, you should have done that. I've got my opinions, but I wouldn't tell a guy of that ilk. I'll give my opinion, but it doesn't mean I'm right, but I'd certainly give my opinion. But for me to say, no, we don't want, you're going to take him. If I was wanting to say, you can go and shove it. So that for me, what's happening. Carrick's a novice. He's in there as a young lad. He's embraced because he knows what we're about. I think that Kieran Scott last year did an interview where he says more or less everything goes through him and he directs him, he orchestrates it. So he's not hiding for that fact. But Carrick bought into it last year. But last year everything went hunky-dory because we get good players in for Premier League clubs. This year it doesn't look so hunky-dory. And Carrick will eventually vent his spleen when he sees players going that he wants to keep and players that he wants in not coming. And then I think you'll see the real Michael Carrick. We might not see it publicly, but behind the scenes, he's human. Bernie, pre-season for me is all about fitness. That's what it is. Getting your touch, getting to know your new teammates, your surroundings. I think players we get in, let me see. Get in loads for the rest of the window. Get in and loads for the rest of the window. We'll tell where we are at the end of September. As this one says, Bernie, what is his fate? Offshored, is it? Offshored. Bernie, Warnock and Wilder both publicly stated Kieran Scott recruitment process isn't working. Now it looks like Carrick's finding that out. Munns, Hop, young players with no experience. I'm not going to Kieran Scott. I don't know Kieran Scott. I've heard of him. I've seen him. I don't know him. I've never said a lot to him. I don't know him. I've never shook his hand. I don't know him. I'd love to have a chat with him for my podcast. So if anybody's watching and thinks I know Kieran Scott, I'll get him on to you. I'd love to ask him a question that I want to ask, no the propaganda bullshit. I would like to ask him questions that I say on here. What about this? Are you in control? Is it you that brings the players in? And let him have his say. I wouldn't be cross-questioning him. Whatever he says, I suppose you have to believe, but I don't believe anybody. But the guys, Tony Mowbray, I've heard from, no Tony Mowbray, from other quarters, that Sunderland get players, well, Tony Mowbray probably gets players thrust upon him and told who to sell. Don't forget, it's owners' money. It's their money. They've, as I say, Middlesbrough, we concentrate in Middlesbrough. We've squandered millions of pounds on donkeys, and the top boys have sanctioned it. Now they're thinking, hold on a minute, we ain't squandered. I can only surmise Steve Gibson and the company saying, we ain't squandering any more money. Some of the dross we've brought in, the money we've wasted. we're not doing it anymore. We're going to get young rookies in. We're going to groom them, footballing wise, and make them into top pros and sell them on and make money. That's what they're hoping to do. But me personally, I think in the modern game, it's a big gamble, because I don't think modern fans have got patience. Never had patience when I played. Maybe on £30 a week or £300. They're on 30 grand. I think the modern fans don't got any patience. Everybody's under the microscope with social media. Everybody's got an opinion. Faceless people, guys that's never kicked their ass, never played, have got opinions, can shoot you down, criticise you, hide behind different masks. Chameleons, all can ever say, and all can have an effect. Yeah, it's a scary place out there at the minute, isn't it? Gone from promotion favourites, which they never should have been, to relegation favourites. Mugging fans again till January. This is for Andrew Wilkinson. Loonies turn up. Was that Loonies or Loonies? Evening Bernie, 29,359 were today. Ian Mulgy, thank you for that, Ian. I was told before the game we're going to give it 30,000. I thought, 30,000? I thought about 25. Brilliant. Well done the fans, made a lot of noise, got behind your team, everybody excited, new ambitions and dreams and hopes of what we're going to do. Today didn't go to plan, but don't get too despondent. I'm not a PR man for Middlesbrough. I'm a former player who's straight-laced, loves my football, live in the area, love the club, give him a big opportunity, but I've got an opinion on my team. And I want the best for my team, my club. I can only vocally give it, I've not got the money to invest in it, as Steve Gibson. So I'll never get involved in the financial side. Don't know anything about the financial side. Bernie, do you think the modern game, you need the balance with young and experience to have success? Yeah, I agree with that as well. Well, when we, in the dark days, when there was no money and we were locked out Ayresome Park, myself, Archie Stevens was older than me, a few years older. There was Archie was experienced, I was experienced, Brian Law's experienced. The rest were all young lads. You need to harness the experience with the youth. So I agree with that. You don't want 11 old heads and over the hill lads or vastly experienced. You need a bit of fearless, young, energetic, vibrant youngsters who's game and fearless. Hi from Ronnie Lee and Jacob from Corfu, Greece. Looking well, Bernie Joseph Slavin. Ronnie McPhee, how are you, Ronnie? Ronnie from Glasgow is about my mate, ex-schoolmate, well, former schoolmate, primary, secondary, nicknamed Elvis. So Ronnie's his pal, and he's in, where are you? Greece, Corfu with his family, watching this. And Ronnie's Scottish, by the way. I don't know why he's watching this. Have a great time, Ronnie, you and the family. Where are we? I think we're nearly finished. I think my missus says 10 minutes. I've overrun there. Yeah. Craig Tupman says, let's just wait and see where we are with the squad come the 1st of September. Yeah, look, we're fans. We've watched the game a day, we've all got an opinion. I agree with that. Whether it's complimentary or uncomplimentary, you've got an opinion. You pay your money, you've got an opinion. And then we move to the next game midweek, now we'll have another opinion. But Craig's right. We can't overdo it until the window closes. We might bring in 3-4 players, we'll go, wow, how good are they? So we can't be overcritical, but per game we give our opinion. And today wasn't very good. No pre-season games don't matter. The games did show how toothless our attack was with no Chuba. Today it showed we need a striker and quickly. Listen, they say Foz is a centre forward. For me, no. Crooks is a centre forward. For me, no. Coburn, for me, I have to be honest, young kid, rough, raw, inexperienced, just like the lads that were brought in. No. And who's the other one? Rodgers, young kid. Don't forget with young Balogun come in for the Arsenal. They're raving about him now. He went abroad, sensation. He's back at Arsenal. Some people saying get him in the team, and that's Arsenal. So don't write anybody off after you've seen him over a dozen games. But the strike force worries me. I'm a striker. I love goals. I love entertainment. Last year we got it in abundance. It was some of the best football I've ever seen since arriving. That was back in '85. Even the team I played in, I thought we were good and entertaining, exciting, scored goals. But last year's team was terrific. On the eye, brilliant. Couldn't compliment them enough. Brilliant. Enjoyed going to the games. We know who would be playing where. We know what type of football we were going to get. We know we'd entertain. We know we'd score goals. Maybe not won every game, but we were entertaining. But this season I look now and I think, oh, big holes to fill. The entertainment's gone at the minute. The key men, the goal scorers, the creative players have gone. That's fact. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. So we need to fill them. And obviously after one game we can't say we've faulted them as yet, but I'm looking at the names in the position. 3 goalkeepers isn't going to change the way we're going to play football, is it? 3 wingers, I believe, as well. And a defender. So, yeah, I'll read a few more, and then I'm definitely off. I've overshot the runway. How many of today's team get into last season's team? Max of 5, recruitment worrying. Well, I think Carrick's success this season will be down to the recruitment. If he fails, it's because of recruitment. If he succeeds, the recruitment played a massive part in it. I think that's where we are. And at the minute, the recruitment, the lads, as I say, they're novices, they're apprentices. We don't really know who they are, what they're about. Some of the teams, we don't even know who they are. So, but we have to give them a chance. As I say, from the business point of view, I'm not a businessman, I'm a fan. From a business point of view, they think, no, we've squandered millions and millions for years. We ain't doing it anymore. I get that as well. If you keep chucking money at the window, eventually you're going to shut the window and say, I ain't chucking it out anymore, I'm going to start saving it. Maybe that's what they're doing. But I'm a fan. I don't want them to do that. I want them to spend the money and get the money and get better players in. Right, I'll read 5 more out and that's it. I've not even read all them, sorry. I'll be back again. I just want to thank, and then I'll read a few more out. So I want to thank the sponsors again, you for watching. I want to thank the sponsors, Cornerstone, Galaxy Blinds, Advanced Utility Solutions, Ocean Lighting, GRS Installation, Dovecot, where I was today, and it was a great time. You can watch it on YouTube, live interaction with the fans, you know, no rehearse, just pure talk about Borough, adrenaline's high. Dovecot, Ultimate Windows, Cleveland Systems, and TGM Cars. Right, Strachan all over again. Dear God, Strachan. What are you on about, Craig? Strachan. Who's Strachan? Peter McDermott was sloppy all over the park. Our style of play, playing out from the goalie and walking out, just slows everything down. It's too easy for the opposition to get behind the ball. Yeah, you're right in saying that. When you're slow and laboured, that they just get everything back and forth. What they did, they played with 3 centre-backs. Coventry did. When Coventry came in the playoffs, that's how they done us as well. We did very well down there, but when they come up here, they done us, knocked us out the playoffs. But they had 3 centre-backs, and today they had 3 centre-backs, and the big number 5 was like, well, he was about 6'9". He was massive, and he was built like a brick. He was like this. And they had us well under the spell. We didn't really get into it. Chuba's away, Craig Callan. I personally think he'd be gone. If I was a bit man, I'd say go. I hope I'm wrong. But I see the club's point of view, I see Chuba's point of view, and I think to make everybody happy, he's going to go. Why was he on the bench? I just think it was a wee gesture. You're on the bench, but you ain't going on. And he's not played. He's been injured. Or has he been injured? I don't know. I'm not a physio. I don't know. Has he been injured? Don't know. This guy's disappeared off the face of the earth, never been injured, never found again. As I said, I don't believe anybody. You're looking more and more like Sean Connery every time I see you, Bill. Sean Connery, Roddy away. Sean Connery. He was James Bond, wasn't he? I look more like Brooke Bond, Basildon Bond, or one of the Bonds. The voice might sound like Sean Connery. Matty Robson says, what were your opinions on the new short corner technique? Do you think we should just get the ball in the box instead of playing it around too much? Well, you start off, if that's the idea and you've been doing it at training, you want to do it in the real thing. But if it's not working, which it wasn't, quite clearly wasn't, then you start changing the delivery. And we did, but we started putting high balls on when Crooks went off, which I found bizarre. Dan Richardson, hiya Dan. First game of the season and everyone's head is falling off. Long way to go. Now, Dan, mindset isn't falling off, but I'm not overly confident at the minute, but before the deadline we might have 3 or 4 new faces in, and then everything rises again. But what I don't want, beat the day at home first game, get knocked out the cup, and then the following week we go away, and then you get beat again, then you think, hold on a minute, then the pressure's on everybody. The more you don't perform and you get beat, if we didn't perform today and got a point, people would say, well, it's a good point. We weren't great today, but we got a point. And it lifts a bit of the morale. But players leaving, players under the microscope, speculation rife, Chuba's on his way. I'm part of it because I think he's going to go. That's all my gut instinct. I don't know. I've no inside information. I go with my gut and I think Chuba's gone. And Chuba was interviewed, which I never seen somebody, few people mentioned it. Chuba says, I want to stay, I love it more or less, but it's out of my hands. That for me says everything. Right, I'm going to read 5 more, definitely finish because I'm way over. And thanks to everybody for joining, brilliant. Hi Bernie, looked like we're playing walking football, too slow and passing the ball back. That's a fair point. Looked like we're playing walking football. I've never played walking football, but I heard about it, and obviously you're not allowed to run. So yeah, but sideways, much of the match. Yeah, a lot of people says that in the lounge, in the Legends Lounge today. First 40 minutes, never the shot and goal. That's true. No, we did. We'd won from Rogers. Rogers had won. Was that the first half or the second half? No, I think you're right. It was the second half where they had the shot and the keeper spilled it and the defender cleared it, and then with another one, Foz came in to the right, drilled it bottom left hand corner, the keeper parried it. So yeah. Do you think transfer window should close before the season starts? I do. To give everybody a level playing field, I think it should close. And that's it. I totally agree with that. So listen, 2 more. There's that many because everybody's happy football's back and we're all buzzing. Colin Fright says, why haven't got time to mess about waiting for better players to come in with teams like Leicester, Leeds, Southampton, Coventry, etc. So we haven't got time to mess about. I agree with that as well. Richard Kemp says, poor performance. Millwall were well organised, but we were sloppy in possession. Much of our passing seemed to lack attacking intent. Paddy McNair, why dive in like that? He sold his soul. I said that earlier. And he'll know that, Paddy. They teach you, in fact, to skill to stand up. The goal side, disappointing. Yeah, when Paddy's on, he's meant to jockey, what you call jockeying. You're on your toes, 1 foot in front of her. You're jockeying, and you're waiting that moment to have a snap at it. Or you backtrack and still jockey. But when you dive in, sell your soul, go to ground, very difficult to get off your ass and chase the guy that's in possession who skipped past you. And that's what he did. Played it, and then it ended up in the back of the net. So anyway, thanks for watching. I've mentioned the sponsors, I'll mention them again. Cornerstone, Galaxy Blind, Vantage Utility Solution, Ocean Light, GRS Installation, the Dovecot Pub in Middlesbrough. I was at it today, had a great day. I love meeting the people. Ultimate Windows, Cleveland System Engineering, TGM Cars. Podcast back on Monday, the first podcast of the season. I'll have a chat with the Alarm lead singer, Mike Peters. Interesting character. This guy, I met him at a Man United game last season by fluke, and I was attracted to him, not in a sexual way. I was attracted to him. Some great stories. He sang with Sting, Bob Dylan, U2, Bono, and I was just intrigued. I love my music. Actually, this was the second half. I never seen the second half of Man United, so I was engrossed with this Mike Peters, and I interviewed him in Glasgow. So part 1's going to be on a Monday, and it's intriguing and fascinating. He's a lot of health issues, and he talks about that. I think it's an inspiring chat with him. You know, he's not like. He's not a big time Charlie. He's been in the game 40 years. He's still touring. He was in America recently. So for me, it's a great one to start off the season. He's a Man United fan, by the way, but his mates come from Middlesbrough. So there's a wee link there. So thanks to everybody. Thanks to the sponsors. I love the Legends Lounge today at the Riverside, and I was handed a picture today. I was looking around. Pallister was one of the guys with me, and I looked around and seen the pictures of Mannion, rightly so, and Alan Peacock, and John Hickton, and Gareth Southgate. I thought, Pammy, where's me and yours? Anyway, thanks to the club and to Colin Todd, my old manager, presenting me with this big picture. He says, oh, yours is getting up there. So thanks for that. I was humbled. It takes a lot for me to get humbled. Thanks very much. Podcast on for free. Total BS this Monday. And thanks to YouTube. And thanks to you, Facebook Live, for joining us. I say I'm back again Monday. And after everybody game throughout the season, I'll be back doing the Facebook Live. Thank you very